Hello there, Carrie Rhodes with CarrieStamps.com. Thank you for joining me for another video. Today's card is a shadow box card made with the Gnome stamp set and the shadow box die set from Lawn Fawn, and I also use the Park add-on die set for this card. So you can see here the card, it folds flat, and I've decorated the sides and the back as well. So let me show you the die sets that I used. You can see there the shadow box die set on the left and all the little parts and pieces that go in it. You need two of these main pieces to make the card. There's hills and tree branches, bushes, a bird, and then this is the shadow box card park add-on. It cuts some trees and treetops. It has a squirrel, which I adore. So cute. And then this grass piece that can be an insert as well. Here's the die set and stamp set that is the Gnome collection. So I'm going to die cut two of these pieces. On the second one, I'm going to cut the frame at the same time, which will make the opening on the front of the box for us. Run that through the die machine, and there I have my second piece. Can save that extra rectangle. I'm going to die cut some pieces that will be the back and sides of my card. So I die cut two of the small. Now I'm going to cut with a paper cutter the piece that will be the back of my card, and I'm going to cut that at 2 3/4 by 3 inches, 3 1/8. You might want a little extra. You can also use that same piece for the back of the shadow box card. I'm going to cut the two hills from the shadow box set, two of these pieces that could be a bush, and I'm going to turn them into trees. So I'm going to also die cut the grass there, and then I'm going to need extra pieces of the grass, 3 extras. I'm going to die cut the tree, which actually cuts 2 trees at once using the knock on wood paper from Lawn Fawn. I'll cut the tree top, which cuts 2 at once from some watercolor wishes paper. And then on a piece of brown, I'm going to cut some of these little branch pieces. I'm going to die cut the squirrel as well. And then we'll have a lot of our die cut parts and pieces done. I'm also going to do the little bird in 2 different shades of yellow cardstock. And then we need some stamped images. So I'm going to do some watercolor paper for this card. This is Canson watercolor paper. I'm going to stamp and emboss my images, so clear pigment ink and black embossing powder. I'm going to show you just 2 of the images so you can see the coloring and die cutting and all of that. So inking that up with clear pigment ink and stamping that down onto the Canson watercolor paper. I like to ink it up 2 times for sure when I'm doing clear stamping, because you just can't really see that ink, so I find it very helpful. All right, so then I'm going to sprinkle on some black embossing powder and get those embossed with my heat gun, and then that'll be really nice to color in. So I've got my Wagner heat tool. I'm letting it heat up until it's, ouch, hot, and then I can go ahead and emboss these. I like to sometimes start from the back and then heat it from the front once I know it's really ready to go. So that's done. I'm going to bring in my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers and color in these images. I'll have the colors on the screen so you can see the exact ones that I used. For this little guy, I'm coloring his shirt in shades of blue. So I'm outlining or just accenting the edges with the darkest color and then blending that out with the lighter blue. And that just works so amazingly well on this watercolor paper. It blends beautifully. I have 2 different shades of red, carmine red and red were these colors, and I'm doing the carmine red first, going over that with the red and then blending it out. And then I'm going to bring in my blender. I love that the Zig has a blender now in their line. It's fabulous. So blended that out, and then we'll do just a hint of black on the edge of the pants, but then blend that out with a dark gray so you can tell that it's black, but it's just not, you know, solid black where you can't see through it at all. So And then we got 2 shades of brown that we're doing the shoes, the belt, and then his beard. I decided I wanted to make him a little bit younger and not do a white beard, so I did a little brown beard, and I just love how that turned out. He's so cute anyway. And then we'll come in and add some color to his face and his hands. So this is light beige, I believe is the color. And then I'm going to come in with light pink and just really subtly color some little cheeks in the corner there between his eye and his mustache. And then light gray for his belt buckle. And he's all done. Then we're going to do a green wheelbarrow. So I have 3 different shades of green. And again, I'm starting with my darkest, moving into a middle color or mid-tone of green and blending that out. And I'm always coloring over what I already colored to blend those two together. And that's what gives you this blended look. And then we'll do dark gray and light gray for the accents on this wheelbarrow, and doing the blending with the light gray. And that finishes up that. And then we'll bring in the dies for these and die cut those. I'll show you the die cutting this time. So I'd like to tape my dies in place. And what I love, this wheelbarrow cuts out the center of that extra point on the wheelbarrow, like the resting spot. It's cool, you'll see. So we'll tape those down, and then I'm going to bring in my platinum die cut machine. I have my base plate, I have a cutting plate, and then I put another cutting plate on top and crank that through. So that will cut it out for me, and I love Lawn Fawn dies because they cut so close to the line. It just is a really clean look. Really good, precise dies. So here's all my little things. You can see I have a mushroom there that I also colored, and then we're going to put these little panels together that will make up the sides and the back of our shadow box. I also die cut a cloud from the cloud stencil set by Fun Stamper's Journey. And I'm going to glue that onto the piece that will be the background of the shadow box. That panel's done. My 2 side panels are the ones I'm using this extra die cut grass on. And I'm just going to trim off the sides that I do not need. It just wasn't quite long enough to do both of my side panels, so I had to die cut 2. This one will be for the squirrel. And I don't show this in the video, but I did end up coloring his eye with a black gel pen. So that had some color. You can see that was just not big enough. So yeah, so we'll bring in a second die cut piece of grass for the other side. This is the one that will have the little branch with the bird. And this is, when you die cut these little branches, 3 of them die cut at once. This is the largest of those 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue the bird down. So I did the bird with a bright yellow, and then the wing is like a golden yellow. So there's a little bit of contrast there. And I'll have all the cardstocks that I use linked below. They're all by Fun Stamper's Journey. See their little contrast. So there's our 2 side pieces. Let's weigh those down with a block while we work on the back. So this will be on the back of the shadow box card. And this is where I felt like you could write a little message on there. And also you could cut this with a paper cutter instead of die cutting it with the rectangle from the die set to have a bigger piece that goes on the back. So that piece, if you cut it, could be about 3 inches, 3 1/8 by 2 3/4. So here's a little mushroom from the Gnome set. Glued it on, and then I stamped a sentiment from the set. You're a friend like no other. You're a friend like no other. Yeah. All right, so let's put the box together. So I'm folding on all of the crease lines that the dies created for me and using my crease tool to press those out. I'm going to use some 1/8 of an inch double stick tape and hook the 2 together. Right, putting the edge of one up against the crease of the other one. So then you can see how that's supposed to go together. But I want to go ahead and put all my little panels on before I do the inside. So we'll do the squirrel and the bird. And then we can put the back of the card together. This one that I'm gluing on right now is the one I cut with my paper cutter, so it's 3 by 2 3/4. Also, you can see that this paper is the watercolor paper that I'm using by Lawn Fawn is darker than all the other pieces I used throughout the video. That's because I had to piecemeal the video kind of together because my camera died and I realized I was missing this part of the video and I'd already used up all the other lighter shades of blue. So I'm putting some score tape, double stick tape on the tabs of the hills, and then you're going to stick that along the edge so that it's flat with the edge of the card. So it goes in the panel between the window and the back of the shadow box. And you can space those however far apart you want. And then once you stick those down, you'll peel off the other side of the tape and then just close the back of the card onto them to pick it up. And you can see you've got your hills in there. And then we'll take off the last little bit of the score tape and then close that on itself. And then your whole box is ready to go. Looks so good. And then you just want to fold it back and forth and make sure everything's creased nicely. There you go. All right, so there's the base of our box. Now we need to add on our cute things. So I've got the trees here. I've glued the green pieces onto the little trees, and those will go in the back of the shadow box. So they're far away in the distance, and I thought they would be perfect as trees when they're like set back and farther back. And then we can do one on each side. And then I'm going to put this little gnome into the wheelbarrow. So he's riding in there. Isn't he cute? I love him. All right, so when we stick these on, I'm going to use liquid glue. If you prefer the double stick tape or score tape, feel free to do that. But you see how easy it is to get your hands in there? It goes up through the bottom and you can hold those in place. So this is really easy to put together, and I like that. It's stress-free. And then we'll add a little gnome girl, and you can see I've just reversed the coloring on her so that her dress is red and her hat is blue. So she'll go on the farthest hill, and then our gnome that's in the wheelbarrow can go in the very front of the card. He'll go on that left-hand side, like he's gonna roll down the hill in his little wheelbarrow. And then I've got the shortest mushroom from the Gnome stamp set that will go on the far right in the front. And then we just need to decorate at the very front of the box. So I'll bring in all my remaining die cuts and some stamped flowers. Now when you put the glue on these trees, you want to just get the very outer edge and the tip tops of the trees. And you can see how they frame the shadow box perfectly. Now this stamp set, or this die set, comes with a more rounded top opening, and these trees fit around that rounded opening really nicely. So you can put the trees on first and then the treetops, or you could do the treetops and then put the trees over the top so more of the branches showed. Again, just put glue on the edges of these so you don't have glue, on the open part that will touch the card when it's folded shut. So the treetops will overlap here and look really cute as a little scene. Now when I put the grass on, I'm putting the glue on the box, and then I'm going to glue it on so only a little bit of the grass covers the bottom because I don't want it to cover the scene. But I like the grassy part in the front because then it looks like the other hills that are more smooth are further away. Also, this grass piece can be one of the inserts on the inside of the box. So that's another fabulous use of this die. And then some little flowers that I stamped, embossed, and colored and die cut will be in the front. And then I'm going to add a little sentiment on the front with like 1/4 of an inch strip of white. And the only way to do this, I feel, is with the Misty, so that you can line that up on that teeny tiny strip. And this says, "Thanks so much," like mushroom. All right, I'm inking that up with Walnut ink by Lawn Fawn. And of course I will stamp that a couple times so that it intensifies the color. And then I can just trim off those edges that I don't need, and then this will get stuck to the front of the card with some glue. And you can see that right here in this picture. Looks really cute there. And that is my card. Here's a picture of the front and the back, and you can just see the depth and dimension of this. So much fun. I just wanted to thank you guys for coming by and watching this video with me, and I hope that you are in love with the shadow box as much as I am. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribed, and then you can come back and watch all my videos. I upload them on about a weekly basis, so please do that. And if you love this card, I'm actually going to give away a couple of these cards, and so all you need to do is leave a comment below and tell me what you think of this card, and then I'm going to randomly select somebody to win this card. I'm going to come back next week with a new video with this same stamp set and announce the winner at that time. So be sure and watch my video next Monday to see if you are going to get this card in the mail. All right, thanks so much. Bye.